Ba-dum-bum.
Hello, and welcome back to Quality Time, episode 21.
Yay.
We're doing it.
We made it.
We made it past the first milestone of 20. I don't know why that's a milestone. I feel like episode 2 is the real milestone. But 20 is like a substantial number. Mm-hmm. It's a way, it's a fifth of the way to 100. Once you have 100 episodes,
then we're legit.
Then we're not Quality Time.
Then
we're big time.
Yeah.
We'll change it to the Big Time podcast. Now it'll still be Quality Time.
Yeah.
So what's up? A lot of things have happened since this last episode, although it kind of feels like just yesterday we did this. Is time not flying by, or is that just me?
Well, no, I know that so much has happened. I feel like that podcast was forever ago, and I feel like a lot has happened.
I know.
Nothing has happened.
It's kind of relevant. We were right on track of what we're kind of talking about this week, because a lot of things, I kind of watched last week's episode, and a lot of things were very on point with what I said I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That now I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Because the last episode was the one where I got banned.
Yeah.
And, some other bad news, but, we're over it. Or not. Maybe we can talk about it. But
we're not, or I'm not, I should say. I'm not over it.
Well, we can definitely get into that too. But we were talking a lot about the ban and, the things I was upset about. And then I got unbanned. So, but what's my following? I got all my following back, 500,000 in like a week. That was great.
Yeah.
And now I'm pretty much stuck at 580. Well, not stuck. I'm starting to go back up because we missed the whole flag controversy. That was one thing that happened.
Yeah.
Apparently, my audience really likes when I troll the liberals and the snowflakes, but they can often be a bit sensitive themselves if you dare do something like step on the flag, which I did, and then hung the flag back up on the wall. It's looking beautiful as always.
It does.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any feet print.
I did it for a joke and to make a point, and people got very mad, and I lost 10,000 followers. So after I got all those followers back, I made a little joke that they didn't like, because they too are snowflakes. 10,000 plus people unfollowed me. And then I was shadow banned, and it took me like a week for that to pass. And now I'm back up. I gained my 10,000 back, and we're doing good. But most importantly, I wanted to get the Discord going.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the Patreon going. And guess what?
You did one of those.
I did one of those. But I do think, so I'm going to say it on the podcast, I think the Patreon is up. Okay? The Patreon is officially up when you watch this episode, because it is set up. It was the real thing that I didn't have ready was the Discord, and the Discord's now set up. So I think the Patreon's pretty close. I don't have all the content up there, but I will have access to special channels on my Discord, which I think is valuable. If you've seen my Discord, so let's talk about Discord for a minute, should we?
Yeah.
Oh my God, have I been busy? What have I been up to the last couple of days?
Stuck to your phone on Discord.
Pretty much. I have had a crash course in Discord in like the last 3 days. Pretty much went from never using Discord. I've never used it. I had one from like a couple of months ago, but I never did anything with it, and I had it locked down because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know what I want to use this for yet, and I just don't know.
And it was chaos.
It was chaos right away, because here's the thing about a Discord server. You can't just open it and be like, okay, everybody's going to be polite. No. You have to plan for the worst of the worst. And, a couple hundred people is a little overwhelming when they're all spamming craziness in the chat. Mm-hmm. Well, let's just say I opened my Discord server 3 days ago. Well, I think this is the 4th day. I have 12,700 members in 4 days.
Nuts.
It is insane. Yeah. And how do I know it's insane? Because I've never had a Discord server. Well, one, common sense would tell you this is a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at other Discord servers of big creators that are even bigger than mine, bigger than me on TikTok.
Yeah.
Double my, triple my, quadruple my following. Their Discord servers are like 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people. The biggest one I think I saw was 7,000 or 9,000. And they've been established.
Yeah.
4 days, I'm at 12,000, almost 13,000. I'll probably be at 13,000 by the end of the day.
That's nuts.
It is insane. And so for being a complete newbie of Discord, I have had to have a crash course in how to set this up, how to do bots, how to get moderators. I have basically been running a daycare of 12,000 children for the last 4 days, and I have been a little busy.
Yeah.
Yes. But it is coming together. I finally have moderators. I've been doing application processes for new moderators. I've set up a bunch of bots. I've set up a bunch of channels. The chat is still a complete shit show, but I have levels chats for higher levels you go. They get a little simpler or a little calmer. It's coming together.
What are all those levels called?
Oh, yeah. So that's cool. So, you can set roles and levels in Discord. And so different people get different roles and you move up and you can have different perks or whatever. So let's say somebody gets on and they're a TikTok creator. I can just put them as a TikTok creator in one of my roles. And that gives them access to like a special chat where it's just me and other TikTok creators and we don't have all the craziness.
Yeah.
So that's a simple way to use Discord, but you can do all kinds of other fun stuff. So I was going to do levels with it where the more you level up, the more active you are and you're not getting banned and you're not getting muted and all these things. You basically can level up and then you'll have access to other chats that are just for more mature people, I guess.
Yeah.
Which kind of hit me on the thought of like, okay, what do I name these things? I could name them like you come in as a peasant and you work your way up to king. Cause right now I'm like the king on there, but I was like, that's a little obvious and a little overused. It's like peasant and then squire and that's so standard.
Yeah.
So I hit on like, oh, I got it. You start out as an egg and then you turn into a fetus. And then you turn into a newborn, and then an infant, and then a kid, and then a young adult or an adolescent, then a young adult, then a adult, then mature, and then a wise elder. Right? It's pretty good. So I set up these different chat rooms that are like, you start as an infant in the womb. That's the womb. It's chaos. I mean, there's one before. It's the general. That's for everybody. You have to earn just to get to the womb, which is still chaos. And then you get up, and once you become a newborn, you're now in the nursery, which is pretty much what I've been running all these couple days. And then when you get up to kid and adolescent, you go to the schoolyard. So you have to get to, know each other in the crazy schoolyard, all the fights, with all the other kids on the playground, you know how it is. And then when you mature past there, you can make it to the lounge and then the bar and then the temple when you are a wise member.
That's so funny.
And who knows how long it will take people to get there. But that server is so active and so many people, and it's just the 4th day.
Yeah.
That I imagine it's going to change a lot. It's going to grow a lot. It's going to become fun. It's quite a learning process, but, I finally did it. It's not something you can do in a day, you know, and I kept putting it off. And finally I was like, okay, I need to take some time to do it, but there's no way I could take any time to do anything else because I have to pretty much manage it all day. Because when something goes wrong, I'm the only one who can control it. Yeah. I haven't picked out any admins yet. So and I don't want to because I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of you kids, but some of you guys are doing great at the moderating. I appreciate it. And I will open applications for more moderators soon. We will get this place popping, get it being fun. And it will now be a great central. What's awesome about it is now I have an audience that's independent of all the other platforms. It's not Twitter. It's not Instagram. It's not, TikTok, where they all have different rules and I have different things. My Instagram is one thing. My TikTok is jokes and whatever. My Twitter is like politics and jokes and trolling. YouTube has its own thing. Everybody has their own thing and you kind of can't reach everybody all at once. But now they're all on my Discord. I can pretty much be like, yo, I got a new YouTube video over here. I have a new Quality Time podcast. I got a new podcast with other TikTokers on Nick Foster and Friends. I just launched this channel. Go subscribe here. I put a tweet out. Yo, I just posted a TikTok. Hey, I just got my TikToks deleted. Here, you guys want to see them? Boom, here it is. Like, sky's the limit.
No, that's
what
awesome.
I can do.
Yeah.
And I can just send out a mass message to all these people, and it's awesome. And I can chat with them and get to know them. And it seems like a very useful platform. And I'm really excited that I learned it and it feels good. But oh my God, have I seen behind the curtain of, the modern day internet. I was thinking about this is, first off, I kind of was telling you is, all right, if you guys don't know what happens when you launch a Discord and you don't have enough moderators, it's like a free-for-all chat room of epic proportions. And so what do you imagine kids are going to do the second when 12,000 kids flood your chat room and they're unmoderated? What do you
say
think?
crazy things.
Yeah. What crazy things do you think they would say?
Well, I know this, so.
I don't think you can say it
No.
here. Well, let's just say there's certain words that are a little provocative and, not really allowed on other platforms, which is one of the things about Discord is like, it's so free, which you have to put in moderation. You got to get admins and you got to set rules and do all this.
Yeah.
You can't just let them run rampant. Whereas other platforms, they have all the moderation in, they ban certain things automatically, especially TikTok. They're really good at it. Well, Discord, you have to figure out how to do that all yourself, basically. And so when all these kids flood it, they just go crazy and they just start saying the most craziest shit you could say. And I understand that. Look, I remember what it was like to be a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kid. I remember. But I started thinking, okay, first off, there's a certain word that we all know is going to be said a lot. It starts with an N. Can you guess what the word is? Sounds like Nick. You get it? Because I'm Nick. Nick. Anyways.
Nicka?
Yeah, Nicka. Nicka, please. I probably got banned just for that. I'm not afraid of the word, but either way, I don't want to run a chat room server Discord with
every other word.
Literally, they're just spamming the word like, oh my God, you guys are so original and creative. Wow. But it got me thinking there's something fascinating about this happening. And it's like, I remember being that young age when we had AOL chat rooms. That's how old I am. When I was like 13, 14, 15, it was like AOL chat rooms. And you would go in the chat rooms and you would do crazy things. You would try to like get people to like cyber with you and all this dumb shit. Like no age, sex, location, ASL.
Oh, yeah.
Remember all that?
Yeah.
You never see any of that. And this is basically like a chat room. You don't see any of that shit anymore. And it's like, but you see a whole bunch of the N-word. And I don't remember people really doing that.
No.
Why? You know why? Because when we were that age, it wasn't that taboo to say that word. It wasn't so shocking. It wasn't so like, oh my God, you're canceled if you say that word. And that's what got me fascinated about why so many kids say it. Because we've made it such a taboo, such a bad word, such a censored word on every social media platform that the second they have the chance to spam it somewhere, that's all that they do. That's and crazy. It's almost like a backlash. It's a negative consequence of making that word so taboo that it just draws people to want to say it more, which is like, that's why we never said it. It wasn't cool. You could throw any word out on an AOL chat room. Nobody was going to ban you. You can't get reported. Nobody's going to delete you. Nobody's going to cancel you. Facebook isn't going to ban. AOL wasn't going to ban. You could literally just write that word nonstop. I hate it. I hate these. I hate this. I hope. And nothing would happen. That's how we grew up. And yet it was almost calmer than a Discord because now everything is so highly censored and so taboo and so don't do that the second there's like a place for them to do it, they just have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I understand that there is real racists in the world, but these kids are not like actually racist or having real opinions about anything. They're just spamming the word just to see if they can do it. Just because they can, it's like spray paint, doing like graffiti or just like smashing shit for no fucking reason, just because fuck it, I can, know, but they're so drawn to that specifically that you literally half of my week has been just setting up the ability to block people who spam that word. That word is the bane of my existence this week. How do I fucking stop this one and this one? Sorry, Mom, I said fuck. At least I didn't say the N-word, Mom. Even when I was 13 on AOL chat rooms with no moderation or adult supervision, I never said the N-word. I don't think I've ever done that.
I didn't think it was like that big of a deal. Yeah, it wasn't like, I never heard that growing up either, that word.
That's the thing is when we've made it such this thing that everybody knows you don't ever say this word, it makes people just focus on that word. You can't, that's why I think the best thing to do is just take the power away from the word. Stop putting so much focus on the word and people will stop saying it because these kids are just saying it because They want to see if they can get away with it, or are they going to get banned, or are they going to get in trouble, or do I have my mods set up that they're going to ban it? Do I have bots set up that's going to take care of? They're like just testing the waters. And then I literally I think I have over 500 to 1,000 people have been banned already in 4 days. My moderators have been nonstop, combing, banning people for saying the word.
Yeah.
They're not using it in a sentence. They're not using it to degrade anybody. They're just spamming it just because they can. It's just fascinating. And I'm like, what has happened to this generation? They're not more racist than the past generations, but they're more drawn to that word because it's so taboo to say it. And it is a true thing. And until society can grow up and understand that that is what happens, like there's not people spamming the word cunt. Like that's a bad word. That's a provocative word, but they know nothing's going to happen if they say that word.
Yeah.
You know? And they don't do it. I don't think I've seen anybody do it. There's 2 words. It's the N word and the F word, not fuck.
Oh, I know.
Sorry,
it's just
Mom.
like,
No, that's the thing. They don't spam fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. Because nobody
says it
cares.
now.
Nobody
Yeah.
cares if you say fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. My mom cares if I say fuck. Tune into the last episode. Well, Mom, I could say way worse words. Yeah, so that is fascinating. And that has been what most of my week has been, is trying to figure that out and solve that issue. And the whole funny thing is like, I want to be the free speech guy.
Yeah.
My whole brand is like, guys, the words don't have power. It's how you use them. Meanwhile, I'm banning 1,000 people for spamming word, like saying this word and that word. And it's like, guys, I'm not offended, but nobody wants to hang out in a chat room where that's all you see. I don't care if you're black or if you're white. Nobody wants to see that. You're not creative. You're not funny. You're not original. You're not cool.
Yeah.
You guys are lame. You're fucking lame. Sorry, Mom. So I'm figuring it out, and I got that out. So everybody, join my Discord. By the way, I already got 30 plus boost. I don't even know what this shit is, but there's people who love Discord who are like, what? In 4 days you got 30 boost? Because everybody's been telling me that's really good.
Yeah.
So I have like my own URL.
What does that do?
You get perks and stuff, but I get
that's cool.
See, people right now are probably like, what the fuck? I wish I worked my whole life to get that, and I don't even have that. And I'm just like, I don't know, some stupid shit I'm not going to use. I take it all for granted.
What is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It gives you special perks where people can upload bigger file sizes, and you can get like your own URL. So discord.gg/Nick Foster. I get my own URL.
Nice.
Boom. I am big time, guys. 500,000 on TikTok, almost 30,000 on Instagram, 12,000 in 4 days on Discord. This time last year, I was nothing. I had nothing. I had no audience.
Yeah.
I mean, I had friends and a good life. I mean, my life was fun. It was great.
Nothing. You had nothing.
No. Everything was awesome and my life was great. But I was really working to like, how do I find an audience? I need to find an audience. I was working every day on Two Cool Stools, like every day editing a video, trying to get it going. And boom, finally, I got my audience. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the Discord and following my TikTok. Thank you for subscribing to this video. And if you haven't, why are you watching this? Hit subscribe and hit a thumbs up. And now my Patreon is launched. So please, guys, help support this podcast, and not just this podcast, all the content that I'm doing by subscribing to my Patreon. You will have special access to your own private channel in the Discord, so you don't have to see the N-word spammed everywhere, unless it's Nick. Nick is a king. That's fine. There'll be a lot of that. But I will hang out in there, and you guys know me on TikTok, and you know me on Instagram, and you know I don't just disappear. I'm in there. I'm talking to you. You can talk to me. I will chat with you. I will be active.
Yeah.
I have a lot going on. She sees me all day, every day. Wake up. I'm on my phone. I'm going all the way till 2 a.m. at night. I am working. I'm doing TikToks. I'm doing commenting. I'm editing. I'm uploading. I'm building. All right.
Yes.
I'm active. I want to get to know you guys. I want to engage, and I do. So subscribe, support me on the Patreon, because that will allow me to do all these things that I'm doing, plus more, plus hire people, and maybe even some of you guys, which that's part of what I want to do with the Discord. Is now that I have this audience, people are already making fan art and banner images and things like that. I didn't even ask them to. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that he seems really talented. I will reach out to him, and then maybe I can just pay these guys like, yo, you want to be my graphic designer or whatever, my artist of different kinds. I got to get merch designed, which I've been working with some of our friends, and there's a lot of things to do, but I need to start hiring people, and I need to diversify because I am just spread so thin. Doing this Discord for the last couple of days has made me completely neglect TikTok for the last couple of days because I can't do it all. I can't be everywhere at once. So your support on Patreon will really help. Will help this podcast grow. Will help my other YouTube channels grow and everything that I'm doing. And you will get special perks, special privileges, and I will upload all my deleted and uncensored content that I can't post elsewhere. Obviously, we have certain content that's on its own website, link in bio. You guys know what it is. Outside of that, there's so many jokes, so many things that I could post on TikTok that I'm like, I can't post.
And then you
that.
censor it a little bit.
I do.
When you're gonna post it.
I try to like, okay, let's soften it a little bit. And then even still, some of them get deleted or removed.
Like that Cuties one.
Yeah.
There was an uncensored one for that.
Yeah. So, okay. I know. See, these are so good. And you see the behind the scenes. So for all you people who think like Nick doesn't do anything, we're at 20 minutes already? Jesus. Okay, we're going to take a break and then I'll tell you this story. I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, the Cuties post. What did you think of that?
Well, the first one that you were going to put out there, that was a little much. I was like, that'll definitely get taken down and be banned.
I don't know that it would be taken down, but it would.
People would have went crazy.
It would have made a problem. So here was the post that I did. If there's a lot of,
it would have been taken off.
Probably, but either way, it could be taken out of context so much easier than what I ended up posting. Even still, that could kind of be taken out of context, as all my jokes can. But for everybody who wonders, like, Nick, you just fucking throw this out and you don't think about the effects. It's like, I think a lot about what's going to happen. How's this going to be interpreted? What are they going to think about this facial expression? What are they going to think about how I turned my head? What are they going to think about my shirt being off? What are they going to think about the song? What caption should I put? How am I going to tie this all together to get the point across of what point I'm trying to get across?
Yeah, everything you do has a purpose.
Yeah. And people often just react, which even my audience just reacted to this. Some of them got the joke, and many of them were like, what, bro? Bro, wait, what? Because they thought it was unironic,
Yeah.
So for all you guys who don't know, the show movie Cuties came out on Netflix, caused a big controversy because it's a bunch of very young, like 13, 11-year-old girls or something doing like provocative dances. I don't know, because contrary to popular opinion, I never watched the movie because it looks terrible and awkward. Erin wanted to watch it. She was like, can we watch Cuties?
Yeah.
You did want to watch it. But here's the thing. Girls can get away with it because she's like a girl. She's like, yeah, I want to watch it and like get to know. And probably just out of curiosity.
No, yeah. It was just out of curiosity, just so that way I could be like, what the fuck? And then like shelter my child forever.
Sure. But I do think there is some truth to women can watch it and almost like relate to it because they remember being 11. And I mean, 11-year-olds do have sexual thoughts just like 11-year-old boys do.
And first of all, 11 back then when I grew up was way fucking different. We were wearing fucking Limited 2 and like all these fucking things.
That is
and,
true. I don't remember being very sexually aware when I was 11 either. I don't remember that until like middle school, like 13 years old.
I don't even, what grade is that? 11?
I don't know. All I know is 13 is like 7th or 8th, so it's got to be like 5th or 6th, right?
Yeah, 5th or 6th.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's young. I do remember in 5th grade, that was the first time I saw a girl in our class who had boobs, and it was like in 4th grade, nobody had them. And then in 5th grade, it was like, what are those? And we were all just like interested in the girl, but not like understanding. Like, it wasn't like we were trying to have sex with them because I didn't even know what sex was, but I was like, what is it? Something is cool about her and you didn't know why. So there is some truth to that. That's so weird. Like coming to age, and it's got to be so different for kids these days because they got the internet, they got Pornhub, they got everything. Allegedly, don't Google it, kids. Yeah, it's so, and so they get all that. Because I remember the first time I saw porn when I was like in middle school. It was, the first time I saw like a porno magazine.
Yeah,
I was like in the bathroom and one of the kids had it, and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And it's like, I'm 13 or 14 probably.
Yeah.
And then I discovered like some porn and I put it on and it blew my mind. It was like, wait, what? This really happens? This is what sex is? I had no fucking clue.
I had no idea when I found out what sex was either. Maybe sex ed or I don't
Even
know.
then,
or like
I
something.
didn't get it.
Yeah, I never seen it because too, it's like when that would show up on the movies and stuff, it was close your eyes. And so like I never saw any like sex scenes in movies or like, you know, Titanic, I had to like go in the other room type thing. And like,
Which they don't even show it. It's just like a make out and a little topless. And you see her hand. That's all.
yeah,
You
it was too explicit.
Yeah.
So
I know.
I wasn't.
We had
allowed
the
to
same
watch
problem
it.
growing up. My parents would make us close our eyes. And then I was just like, well, this just makes it awkward. Why am I even in here? And then I think that's a bit like that actually gave me a complex later on because then I was always so awkward around like kissing scenes and makeup because they made it like shameful.
Yeah.
You know, don't do that, guys. Sorry, mom and dad, but it's true. I know you did the best you could and it was a different time, but that's not a good way to raise your kids. You can't let them feel like something is bad and weird and awkward around something as simple as like kissing or heavy breathing in a car. You know it's sex, but the kid doesn't. And then you just put it in their head of like, what is that? And it's something bad.
Yeah.
You know?
It is crazy.
It's not good.
Whenever I'm around my mom still watching things, I'm just like, oh my God.
It's going to make it awkward.
This is weird.
Yeah. The movie Cuties came out and it's causing this whole stir and whatever. And, you know, you had kind of talked about watching out of curiosity, but I literally was like, you can watch it, but I'm going to do stuff. Like, it's going to be weird to watch that.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. And it looks like a terrible movie. Anyways. But there was a trend on TikTok where there's this sound that you can use to make some statement that, you know, a lot of people were using it about me. There were many of the top videos were like about me where it was like, Nick Foster deserved to get banned or like Nick Foster isn't funny. But the sound was whatever I just said is cap. And cap is like slang term for bullshit, lie, not true. You know, I mean, it means I mean the opposite. I know. I'm learning too. It's hard to keep up. God, I really am. It's like I'm doing well though. I think people are giving me a lot of people when I was starting the Discord was like, you are one of the only creators who actually took the time to learn all this instead of just making somebody else do it. Because I'm that type of person. I taught myself how to computer program. I know these things. It's just I can't keep up with everything in culture all at once. But I can inundate myself. Once I'm on TikTok for a while, I pick it up and I understand what's going on. When I get on Discord, I'll pick it up. I know how to YouTube things. I mean, I taught myself everything I know on YouTube. So I'm fine. But also I'm like, how do all these kids know this like right away? You know, they're just like experts at it.
It's like how we just learned how to use the computer right away.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, I mean, even learning the computer was, we did learn it, but you know, that was still a learning curve for a lot of people.
Really fast.
Yeah. But people couldn't
grew up with it.
I could build computers and that took learning, but like a lot of people don't even know how a computer works.
Yeah.
You know, today. Kids probably do, gamers, but you know, nowadays it's like kids know instantly how to use an iPhone or a smartphone, but they certainly don't know how it works or why or how to program it. You know, they just know how to use it.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. But so the sound was everything I just said was cap. And I was like, okay, I have a good one because Cuties was stirring up all this controversy. And as I like to do, anytime something is in the news, I got to make a joke off it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I got it. So I pulled up Cuties on Netflix, like the home screen, not like the actual movie. So it was like in the background. And I filmed where I was like just smiling to the camera saying like, you know, I just watched Cuties and I really enjoyed it with like a creepy smile and it's in the background. But the song title is Everything I Just Said Was Cap. So that way it means I didn't watch Cuties and I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But in order to make it known that that's what I was doing, I thought I would add a little level of looking down. So I'm just standing there like, and then I look down at the song on the screen. When you watch it, it looks like I'm looking. But it's a double joke because that's the clue that I'm looking at the song title.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people would do in the trend. But because of the setup of the Cuties, it makes it look like I'm looking at my dick like I have a boner.
Yeah.
Right? And when I first filmed it, I had my shirt off because I was just working out. I had my pants on, but I looked down to look at the song. And then when I watched it back, I was like, oh my God, this looks so creepy. I'm like shirtless, looking at my boner, was saying I really enjoyed Cuties. And it just makes it look so bad.
Yeah.
But that's made me laugh so hard. I was like, this is a brilliant joke that if people get it, they're going to be like, wow, that has a lot of layers to it, because it's like he's looking at the song title, not his dick, but we're just assuming because his shirt's off and he's looking down. Mm-hmm. So I went back and forth in my head forever thinking like, should I do this? Should I not? And I asked you and you're like, yeah, that looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
And so I filmed it again with my shirt on and did the same thing. And I ended up settling on that and I uploaded it. And it still caused controversy because it still looks like I'm looking down.
Yeah.
But then once they got it, they're like, oh, and they got a lot of people were complimenting me like, wow, at first I was like, you're looking at your dick. This is awful. Yeah. And then when they got the joke, they're like, oh, he planned this all out. Because that's what I do. I like putting little layers that once you get where it's coming from. Because a lot of people think I was just like saying that just to be provocative, because they think that's all I do in my jokes. And what they don't understand is they're more thoughtful jokes than that. It isn't just me saying, haha, this movie was great. That wasn't the joke. The joke is I use the trend to say the movie is not great, but I make you think that it's great so you react. Yeah. And then I look down and it makes you look like I'm being perverted looking at my dick, but I'm really looking at the song title, which is part of the trend. So it's got all these different layers to it. And it's a topical, post based on what was in the news. There's a lot of things going on, and I was very proud of it and I liked it. But I thought for about 30 minutes before I uploaded, like, should I do this without the shirt?
Was that ever taken off?
No, it was fine. There was a lot of people getting mad, and a lot of people did duets, and that's when I know I have the perfect post, when a lot of people get mad and start sharing, like, how dare you? Yeah. But the thing about this joke that's tough, all the other jokes, I make provocative jokes that can piss people off, and they can save those and download them and share them elsewhere. And, they might be like, look at what Nick Foster said, but the whole joke makes sense in the video when they share it with somebody else. This one won't, because if somebody downloads this video, it doesn't have the song title part in the video. Yeah. So when they share it, it's just going to look like I'm a dude saying, I really enjoyed the movie and I'm looking down at my dick. That's all it's going to look like. So it's going to if I had my shirt off, it'd be even worse. Gosh, it would just look like I'm legitimately just being perverted. So I understand, like, that's a tough one. And that type of stuff, there's a lot of things like that. I mean, not that type of joke, but jokes where I'm similarly holding back from posting that I'm like, man, if I had a Patreon set up, I could just upload this stuff there, and or a Discord or whatever, where I have a private channel, and I could just say, look, here's a joke. You guys can have this for free. I can't post this on TikTok. And so many jokes that I do that are like, this is kind of like going to get me some backlash, or it's going to get reported, or people aren't going to understand, or whatever, or, duets and things, and certain people on TikTok, a certain dude that, nobody on TikTok likes, that I'm in a rivalry with. I want to make a lot of jokes about him. Oh, he got banned this week. That was another thing that happened.
Yeah. You were so
happy. I half want to get into that, but I also don't even want to give him, the air time. But a lot of jokes like that where I'm like, okay, I don't want to just make all these jokes about him, because he's going to cry and he's going to send his little minions after me and say I'm bullying him, even though he's much bigger and he bullies me based on his definition. Yeah. It's not bullying to me because I'm tough. I'm not a crybaby like him. But those types of things, I would love to make a lot of jokes, and I'll throw them out. I'm going to throw them out on my Patreon. So guys, you're going to get all the access to my old jokes. I'm going to put together little compilations of like the best of like the Lizzo jokes, or the Joe Rogan jokes, or the, the makeup jokes, or the women jokes, or the political jokes. Yeah, because you
have all your old ones, right?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to put them all together and upload them, but for Patreons only. And then anytime going forward, when I have jokes that get taken down, you guys will always have access to them. Yeah. And they can't get taken down once they're on my Discord or Patreon. And any jokes that I want to make that are going to be too tough for TikTok or any other media site to handle, boom, you guys will get it. And I will be hanging out with you in our private chat rooms. Just stop dropping the N-word, okay? So yeah, that's the plan. Hope you guys can all support, and we got a lot more cool things coming. But I feel very accomplished this week.
Yeah,
finally getting it done.
Congrats.
Thank you. It has been stressful.
Yeah, you've been fucking going.
I know.
Sorry, Mom.
And it's not over yet. Yeah, see, Mom, it's not just me. Even beautiful young ladies who are very polite also say fuck from time to time. Guys, you can spam fuck in my Discord. Sorry, Mom. I can't wait to get that merch made.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Sorry, Mom. Somebody already made, one of my friends sent me a design. It was like, fuck censorship. Sorry, Mom.
That's so
Because he
good.
listened to the podcast. I was like, that's pretty good.
I like that, yeah.
I know. I need to shout out to
be a
you,
good
bro.
one.
I need to hit him up and get some actual designs made. I've just been busy, man. I am busy so much. I reached out to our friend, your friend's sister, because she posted another thing that happened this week. She posted one of her arts about, and it was great.
I saw that, yeah.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. R.I.P. Ruth. That was another joke I made on TikTok this week. Hilarious joke. The joke was Ruth Bader Ginsburg, my jokes, both ruthless. Or no, Supreme Court. I fucked up my own joke. Yeah. The Supreme Court, my jokes. What do they have in common? Both ruthless. And people are like, what? Oh, because the Supreme Court is ruthless now. Get it? But
that one was a good one.
It was good.
I
It was well done. But yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Oh, I made a lot of jokes about her, and they did pretty well. And that's the thing.
I only saw that one.
Yeah, no, the ones I was doing, like where I was talking about Hillary Clinton, and then I showed the one where it's like Ruth Bader Ginsburg's old photo with all at her law school, and it was all men, and people are sharing it like, look, this photo speaks volumes, because they're implying like, look at all these white men and only one girl in law school. This was a time where women were oppressed. And I looked at it and I go, yeah, this photo really speaks volumes. It seems men are just much better at getting into law school than women. And people are like, how dare you? Don't you understand that women were oppressed and weren't allowed into law school? Yes, that's the joke. It wouldn't be funny otherwise. Of course, I know that's offensive. That's why I framed it that way.
Yeah.
If I thought it was real, I wouldn't have framed it that way, because that wouldn't be funny and it wouldn't be a joke. I have to know it's offensive to make the offensive joke. I'm aware of what's offensive and what offends you. That's why I chose to say it that way. People are so dumb, but that was a good joke. It's classic, sarcastic, like being an idiot, like a willful, ignorant idiot. Like, oh, I don't get it. What? Men are just better? Is that the point? No, that's not the point. Yeah, so that was very topical. What do you think about that? What was your feeling? You're not that politically involved, but did you know about her?
Yeah.
Like well enough to have like a feeling about it?
Well, my feeling is more that I don't want there to be a Republican that takes her spot. Like, I need it to be even and balanced.
That's an interesting thought. So I had talked to you leading up to that, because I was talking about the craziness of this political campaign cycle because of COVID, because that Bernie got overthrown at the last minute by Biden, which nobody really expected. And now it's like this old man who's senile, and then the economy tanks and all these things are happening. And it's like, nobody can predict what's going to happen. And then the riots and the George Floyd thing. So cities are on fire. People are on lockdown. The economy's tanking. We have these two old white men who are super, like in their 80s practically. Trump's at least with it. Whether you like him or not, Trump is sharp.
Yeah.
Biden is not, right? So it's a lose-lose if you hate Trump. I mean, you're going to end up with another crazy person, just a different kind. And I think win or lose, already I was thinking win or lose, this election is going to cause chaos. Whoever wins, the country is going to rip apart.
Yeah.
Like bad. I
sure.
can just foresee it. And that was before she died.
I know.
And I was literally telling you, like, the only thing that could make this crazier, or like, I didn't say it like that, but I was like, it would be so nuts if like a Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. She is just holding on for dear life, hoping that somebody else gets in so she can step down. She should have stepped down before. She didn't step down with Obama. She could have done that and let him, well, there was a whole thing with Obama. He couldn't get his people in either. His Supreme Court pick, which is all ties to this. Merrick Garland, he had nominated him. I'm going on tangents. So I was like, then Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, and I come into the room and I'm like, oh shit, this season of 2020 just took a turn, because with her dead, Trump now can nominate another pick. He's already put 2 people on the bench.
So fucking
if he puts
crazy.
another, the court skews so far to the right. And if a case comes up about to overturn Roe v. Wade, which conservatives want to do,
That's so terrible.
there is a choice.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's interesting. Trump is going to pick a woman.
How do you
I'm
know?
willing to bet. I'm just listening to all the pundits and his choices, and it seems he's going to, I forget what her name is. I could think of it, but when I'm talking, it's hard to like name recall. She is a woman. She's the top pick. And what are women going to say then? Because she is a devout Catholic, 7 kids, total anti-abortion.
Oh gosh, no.
Woman.
No!
Yes. It's like, what can you say? What are women going to say? They have to support women,
That sucks.
and then they can't say this woman is a white male who's trying to control women's bodies. Men aren't allowed to have opinions.
No, she's
what
just
about
a
a woman?
Catholic.
What about a woman?
She's religious.
She's a woman,
that
though.
That's the problem.
Women are allowed to have opinions on abortion. That's been the narrative about all of this for years, is men and white men need to stay out of women's bodies. She's a woman.
Yeah.
You can't use that argument against her. And she's the top pick
Oh gosh.
on record, anti-abortion.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult thing.
Yeah.
And I agree. I am pro-choice. It's not one of my main voting issues. I'm about free speech. That's why I voted Donald Trump, and that's why I support a lot of things, is like fighting back against censorship and fighting back against cancel culture and woke culture, PC, all of that. That's my number one issue. Just like some people's is guns and some people is abortion.
Yeah, I think mine is abortion and gay rights, because I believe you should be able to marry whoever the fuck you want.
They already have gay rights, though. It's like, what does that mean?
No, I know
now?
they could take it away.
No, they can't. Supreme Court already passed it. It's on precedent. Can't do it. The Roe v. Wade was slightly different because it wasn't the Supreme Court just like upheld I forget exactly. There's some loophole where it could get overturned, but it seems gay marriage
fucked up.
has been defined as a constitutional right.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Something
But
along those
also,
lines.
we need that for abortions.
Yeah, let's get into this conversation. We're going to take another break, and you want to talk about
All right,
this?
yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll be back. Okay, we're back, and this time we have we switched over to a beer from the coffee. Cheers.
Cheers.
To the last beers. Erin can drink again. This is the first time she's drinking on the podcast in a few episodes.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Baby Foster. We will also save that conversation for another time. If you're curious about what that means, just watch our previous episode of this podcast called Bad News Kids. The bad news is for our kid. So we were going to talk about this. We took a little break. There was something I wanted to do on this podcast, bringing it back to the Discord. I thought it would be fun to show you guys a little bit of what it's like when you start a Discord with 500,000 followers on TikTok. And we're going to do a live test here on the air. I hope this actually works. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a loser. But on Discord, you have voice chats that people hang out in.
Yeah.
And I'll pop in those sometimes just to hear what's going on, and it just turns into chaos, right? So let's do a live test. Guys, you are live here. Let's see what you do. Who knows?
Don't fail me.
Sorry, Mom, if they say any words, but let's hear.
No.
Methicane, are you here?
6,
Oh,
5.
Who else does methamphetamine?
Methicane.
No, wait. Please get your mic out of your ass.
Hello?
Thank you, alright.
Methicane, I'm gonna mute everyone so we
Everybody
can
join
talk.
us. Everybody
They
in.
don't even know I'm here. You guys are failing me.
The code is EZNQQQ.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, I have an important question to ask you.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
What?
I put my own IP in chat, and am I going to get paid for that because it was my own IP or no?
See, this one, they just use this. They used to be impressed when I would jump in here, and now they just use it as an opportunity to be like, will you unban me? Hey, guys, you are live on my podcast right now. What do you want to say to yourselves?
My TikTok is
Yeah, that really,
What?
that makes a lot of sense.
Everybody quiet. I love your
Nick, you're
Nick.
sexy. Come in my mouth.
Nick.
Okay, that's gonna make the show. You guys are gonna be able to watch this.
Yeah, James Charles for the win.
Yo, Nick. I'm a fan.
Oh,
Since
thanks.
day one.
I'm a fan too.
Go silent.
Nick, check trial chat.
Guys, I am on a podcast right now. I'm just using you to demonstrate on the episode. So I will fix the Discord afterwards, but right now say hi to yourself on YouTube.
Oh,
James Charles, so to me. I like calm.
Okay.
That one always comes
That
through.
one's the one that wins.
I did.
All right, bye guys.
It's like everything else is jumble, and then it's him.
I don't even know how you can have a conversation. There's like 15 people or something in there. You could put it up to like 65. I'm learning. I think you can mute people and all that, obviously, but I haven't set it all up. But I went
65
in.
would be nuts.
I
Like, how
know.
do you even hear each other?
I don't understand.
Have conversations.
I went in the other day and I just was like, let's see what's going on in here. And it was just like, Nick, oh my God, it's Nick. Oh my God, Nick, listen to me. Nick. And it's just like, what the fuck is happening in my life? That like I went from pretty much being just a normal dude a year ago to now like the whole next generation of youth who love dropping the N-word, by the way, are just like so amazed that I would pop into a voice chat. You know, it's crazy. Things are changing fast, but there you go. We heard "come in my mouth" a couple times. Props to whoever dropped that. I think you're the winner of that that test. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to do that. I meant to do that when we were talking about the Discord.
Yeah.
Back to the topic at hand, okay? Not enough about the angsty teenage boys, which are also part of this problem of abortion rights. But yeah, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. And now we're at a crossroads where the political climate has just flipped because the second she died, it goes right into politics of this is a fight for the next generation. It's no longer about COVID.
Yeah.
It's no longer about Trump. It's no longer about Biden. It is about the Supreme Court. And that changes the entire direction of an
Because the
election.
Supreme Court is in it forever, right?
Yes.
Until you die.
And that is what's so
Or
crazy
resign.
about it. The reason the Supreme Court was set to where you are appointed for life.
Because people died at 40.
No. The reason, it's even more ironic than that. I mean, that's not even ironic, but the reason was specifically because they did not want judges in the Supreme Court to become political. They did not want a judge to have to get reelected because then they're going to have to do favors for their party and for their donors and for their constituents. And, you know, if Trump put somebody in, they might be like, well, I want Trump to renominate me, so I have to do what Trump wants. So I'm going to pass this law for Trump. So he pats, you know, they didn't want that. That's what Congress does. So they said the way we'll solve that is create lifelong terms. That way, once they get appointed and they get on the bench, they never have to worry about getting reelected and they'll never have to worry about their seat turning political. And what happened?
Yeah.
What ends up happening is that then they die and it throws the entire system into chaos because it becomes political only when they die. And then everybody is fighting for their seat and we must fill it because there's a infinite time. If they put a 40-year-old woman on the seat, she's going to be there for 40 years.
Yeah.
And she's going to be passing laws for the country and changing the direction of the country for 40 years.
That's insane.
Right? That's what's so it turned political in almost an even worse way while trying to make it not be political for that very same reason. So it's a fascinating thing. And that's what happens when somebody dies. They want to appoint somebody who's on their side and they're going to pick the youngest person they possibly can because that's going to skew it for 50 years.
God.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not nominating some 60, 70, 80-year-old person. They're nominating a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
There should be an age limit.
Exactly. So now what they're saying is we need, if the system is so fragile that just simply dying can throw the entire future of the country for 40 or 50 years into turmoil, it's a bad system.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to fight to overdo lifelong appointments and make it 18 years.
That's good.
You will get appointed. You can be on the bench for 18 years.
Why 18 though?
It's a time that's long enough to withstand the political cycles of 2 to 4 years, like Congress and presidents.
Yeah.
And it's long enough where they have a career on the bench, so they don't have to worry about the future and politics and all, doing whoever's a favor.
Yeah.
They can just be on the bench, but at 18 years, no matter what, they can't be on the bench anymore, and they're just removed. And then it's something we can plan for. It allows all presidents and Congress and both sides to know this bench seat is going to be open in 3 years.
Yeah.
Plan ahead instead of Ruth Bader Ginsburg is alive one day and we don't have to worry about this even into the next term, because if Biden won and then she died, nobody would freak out. I mean, the right would freak out, but the Democrats certainly wouldn't. And she could just die, and in a second, the whole chessboard of this political system of this election and the future of America just flips, and then that's all it's about. And we're 45 days or something from the election. It's insane. So now they're rushing to try to nominate a seat and fill it right away. But I think, for Trump's sake, it's wiser not to put a Supreme Court pick in right now.
Why?
Because he'd only put a Supreme Court pick in now if he really cared about abortion and all those things. He doesn't. He cares about getting reelected. And because so many people want a court justice who will overturn Roe v. Wade, who vote for Trump, the right-wing people.
Yeah.
If he just says, I promise I will nominate a conservative to the bench, which he did the last time. That was a big reason he got elected, is he promised. So Obama was going to put in Merrick Garland. The conservatives in Congress stopped it because they said, no, it's an election year. We're not going to fill that seat until after the election, because we should let the American people vote if they want it to be a conservative or a liberal. And that actually helped Trump, because then Trump was able to say, I promise I will nominate a conservative into the seat. And a lot of people voted for him just for that. And he followed through, and he did it, and he did it twice. So I think it would be smart for Trump to not fill the seat and just promise everybody, vote for me and I will fill it in the next term, because then Democrats can't stop it. But
then more Democrats will come out as well.
Maybe it goes both ways. Yes, but if
a lot of
if he
younger
throws it in
kids
now,
don't really vote, so it's like they will definitely get out and vote now too, because they all are.
And Congress could switch. I'm not
hypocrites.
sure if there's a big chance for the Senate to flip, but if the Senate flips to Democrats, they could block who Trump puts in. But if the Republicans hold it like they do now, they can just push it through.
Yeah.
And these things are just so fascinating. And so I don't know where it's going to go, but it's all up in the air. But it's so funny that if you go back to Obama, during the Obama years, Obama had nominated Merrick Garland in the election. It was a year out from the election. Mitch McConnell, who is the head of the Republican Party in the Senate, basically came out and said, no, we are not going to confirm him. We are going to wait until the next thing. And all the Democrats were like, how dare you? You have to put him in. And he just used his power, because he's like, we own the Senate. We don't have to do anything that you don't want us to do. And he came out publicly and said, we just don't think it's right to nominate a Supreme Court during an election year. And then as soon as this happened, the same Mitch McConnell, who's still in charge of the Senate, came out and said, oh, yeah, that thing I talked about? No, actually, this time it's okay. We're going to push it through.
Oh, my
45 days out from the election. And he's like, oh, I don't care about what I said. And people are like, he's a hypocrite. No fucking shit. He didn't become one of the most powerful, most effective senators of all time by not being a hypocrite. He's doing what is best for his party. And he's fucking crushing it.
Yeah.
But here's what's also fascinating, because a lot of this is the Democrats' fault, because I find this stuff so fascinating. And people have the memories of a fucking goldfish when it comes to politics, because our political cycles are always on these 2 and 4 year cycles where every election they're just like, this is the most important election of your lifetime. Yeah, you said that every single election ever. And all you think about is getting Trump out of office. You don't realize that maybe it's better to leave Trump in office for 4 more years and then get a better Democrat than Joe Biden in 2024. But they're so focused on 2020 that they're actually going to hurt their chances in 2024, because then Biden's in there and somebody like AOC can't run, or somebody that they might actually want.
Yeah.
No, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot, because they just look at right now. And if you take it back to Barack Obama, even before he nominated Merrick Garland, a big reason why the Democrats today are freaking out about Trump being able to nominate somebody in the Senate in 45 days. The Senate is controlled by Republicans, but not with a supermajority. Supermajority means they have to have like 2/3 vote, which I think is like 60 votes in the Senate or 66. I'm not sure. I think it's 60 votes in the Senate, where they have to have 60 votes. They don't have 60 Republicans in the Senate. They have 51 to, I'm not exact sure of the number, but they have slightly more than 50%. So they have a simple majority, but not a super majority, right? There used to be a rule on the books that laws could not get passed through the Senate, certain laws, unless it had a super majority of the party. Barack Obama wanted to push through Obamacare. People forget about this. He was putting Obamacare, but he didn't have enough votes in the Senate. Democrats controlled the Senate during those years. Democrats had a simple majority, not a super majority. So the leader at the time of the Democrats changed the rule because he could put it up to a vote to change rules of how the Senate operates. And he put up a vote or a question basically like, should we lessen the super majority down to a simple majority because we have enough to push through a simple majority? So they changed the rules of the Senate, used their own power during Barack Obama's years to make the rules a simple majority just so they could push through Obamacare. And at the time, all the Republicans were saying, how dare you think about what this is going to do for the future, because we're going to be able to use this against you. And somebody else is going to be able to push through something that would be very hard to push through. And now all you need is one extra vote in the Senate and you can push through anything. And they did it. They did it just to push through Obamacare. That's how badly they wanted Obamacare that they changed the rules of the Senate just to push it through. And now they're whining. They're crying and freaking out like the world is falling apart because that same fucking rule is going to come back to haunt them, because now the Republicans can say, we only need 51 votes in the Senate. They have a few people that might not vote for it, a few moderate Republicans who might say, look, I'm not going to vote for it. But then they'll have a 50-50 split. And when that happens, Mike Pence, the vice president, gets to be the tiebreaker. What's Mike Pence going to do? What do you think, Mr. Gay Therapy? I think he's going to vote for overturning abortion. So this is how politics works. And people don't think about the down the line consequences of breaking rules and changing procedures and doing all these things. That it's fascinating. It's just so fascinating how everything is up in the air. And a lot of it is Democrats' own fault. A lot of even how Trump got elected is Democrats' fault. They put through somebody like Hillary Clinton and didn't realize that like nobody wants this. And then they made all those mistakes about the polls being wrong and fucking over Bernie and doing all these things. And now it's 4 years later and they're still just crying about Trump saying the Russians, whatever, instead of realizing like maybe we fucked up. Maybe we need to change. Maybe we need to pick somebody better. And who do they pick? Joe Biden. You guys are idiots. So I think we're going to have a Trump election. Trump is going to flip the court.
That sucks.
Or Biden will win. He's going to die in office and we're going to end up with a Kamala Harris dud president who never got elected. And that's going to hurt Democrats' chance in 2024. And then we're going to get another Republican and who's going to take even more power. And it's just going to keep going. And who knows how long it's going to last until it gets back under control. And it's going to be like the, and then the court's going to be skewed forever. So it's a fascinating thing. And it is a scary thing. And we'll talk about the scares of the abortion thing. But the other thing is that Democrats also, one thing that happens is once the court is so skewed into the favor of the Republicans, they will change the rules again whenever they can, where they can actually add more seats to the bench. So there's 9 judges, so there's 4 and 4 and then a tiebreaker. If there ever is a tie, there's always an odd number. It used to be 5 judges. And I think before that, it even used to be 3. Maybe it was 5. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on all these things, but I know the basics. They added, it's called court packing, basically. It's like when we lost so much power because then it was like 3 Republicans to 2 liberals. How do we get around that? The power is always going to be in the conservatives. But if we can add 2 more seats, we can get 2 more liberals in there, and then it's 4-3. So that creates a 7 court. And then they can add 2 more seats. And they did it a couple times to get it up to 9 seats. Like now
How
the
are they
liberal,
able to pass that?
because the Senate can make rules, it can basically put it up to a vote. And if they pass a law saying the Supreme Court, because all these things have checks and balances. The courts rule on something, they can get nominated by Trump, but the Senate has to approve whoever the president nominates, and the president can veto the laws that they make. And the Supreme Court is there for life, but it's based on the laws that the Congress puts through. It's not in the Constitution that it has to be 9 judges. It's up to the Congress to say how many judges it is. So the Congress can come out and say, we decide. So now when it's so skewed and it's like 6-3, conservative, they could come out and say, we're going to put 2 more seats on the court and make it 11 or what. They can just keep doing this. And then the other side is going to do it and do it. In 20 years, we're going to end up with 29 fucking seats on the Supreme Court because once you do these things, the next person does it and does it more.
Yeah.
But Obama did this with executive orders. He started signing executive orders all the time, which was unheard of. It wasn't a common thing for presidents to do before Obama, because you would have to go through the Congress to make laws. It should be hard to make a law. And instead, Obama would just sign executive orders, which basically de facto makes a law, but it can be overturned by the next president. So it'll be in there for 4 years. I just signed this law. But then when you make that normal, what happens when you get Trump in there? Guess what Trump does? Executive order, executive order, executive order. Do this, do that.
Yeah.
Boom. And people are complaining. He can't do that. You started it. And this is going to happen. So you're going to pack the court with more seats to overcome this skew of the conservative bench. And then the Republicans are going to do it. And it's going to just get crazy. You take away the rule about the supermajority, and now you have a simple majority. And now the Republicans use it against you.
Do you think there's ever going to be going back?
No, nothing goes back. That's the thing.
Is it just going to get worse and worse and more divided and more divided? And
until, I mean, it depends on
independent.
It depends on what context you're talking about, but for certain things, it may get so bad that they'll call a constitutional convention, which is all the states can come together and ratify the Constitution. That's how we gave women the right to vote. That's how we ended slavery. That's how we did a lot of things.
Yeah.
Overturned prohibition, started prohibition, overturned prohibition. If you get enough states to come together, you can change the Constitution. But that is very, very, very difficult and highly unlikely in such a polarized modern society. I don't know, but maybe. So it's all up in the air. No clue what's going to happen. Quite the twist and turn. Of course, I'm making lots of jokes about it, but the truth is it is something to be concerned about. Abortion could be on the table.
Yeah.
And I side with pro-choice.
Yeah, and it's because of this. That's why I have to vote for that specifically. Like, no matter how I was going to vote before, now I am voting 100% Democrat.
She came out right after I kind of explained a lot of this. She came out and was like, well, I guess I have to vote for Biden now, thinking I was going to disown her. And I was just like...
No, I knew you wouldn't. But it's like, just too, like... Neither of them are good,
I know, they're
but it's like, Biden
it's your
is definitely
issue.
Lost.
It's your
so
issue.
It's like, as long as we get him in there, just a Democrat in there, so that way we can secure that.
That's if Trump doesn't get through a Supreme Court justice before.
Oh my gosh.
Who knows? We have 45 days. He could nominate one tomorrow. The Senate could take it up next week. They could confirm in 2 or 3 weeks.
Insane.
Probably before that.
Yeah.
And be on the bench for life. Could happen. I think it's unlikely.
Hopefully.
I'm sure the Democrats have some tricks up their sleeve for how to slow things down, just like they. But what do you do? Yeah. That's the other thing. They threw everything at Brett Kavanaugh. So Brett Kavanaugh got confirmed under Trump. That was the guy who got brought in front of Congress, and they called him a rapist and brought up all this shit from high school, like getting drunk with his high school friends and boofing and all these stupid things that, like, dude, you're 17, kids do stupid stuff. What does that have to do with a 45-year-old man, 50-year-old? I don't even know how old he is, but okay, we got to take a break before this cuts off, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, so they brought Brett Kavanaugh up in front of Congress, and they just ruined his name. They called him everything. The rapist, this woman hater, just this terrible person. His name forevermore is in the history books as all these awful things, but he's on the bench.
Yeah. And
it didn't work, and then they just move on. What are you going to say now? See, the Democrats always make this mistake of they did this in 2016, calling everybody, they've messed up in 2012 because they start calling everybody a racist. And then when you used it against Mitt Romney, who is whether you agree or disagree with Mitt Romney is a decent man. He's not a horrible person. He's not the Antichrist. He doesn't want to kill you. He doesn't hate you. You may disagree with his politics, but he was not a racist, horrible, bigot person.
Yeah.
He might be a little classist, rich guy,
Yeah.
that looks poorly on the poor, pun intended. But he wasn't a terrible person. And all politicians do, by the way. You think Hillary Clinton is hanging out with all these poor people? Dude, she lives in a gated community and is like, I will never interact with you peasants. Give me a break. Trump, for all his thing, he is a rich dude, but I think he always was on work sites and things. He actually kind of levels with white or blue collar workers a lot. And I think that's a big reason they respect him, even though, he's got his issues too. But what was I saying about Mitt Romney? All these they called him a racist and all these things, and it actually worked. I mean, he was going up against Barack Obama. Barack Obama was going to win in a landslide anyways. Everybody loves Obama. It's really hard to beat that guy.
Yeah.
I miss you, Obama. Even me, I miss you. But when you use all those terrible words to describe people, and it's not even true, then people don't take you seriously. And then you did it against Trump, and it wasn't even true against Trump, but I can understand more why you would say it against Trump, because he's very insensitive and he actually like provokes people. But he's not actually a racist. He's just a narcissist. He's full of himself. He doesn't care if you're white or black or woman. If you like him, he likes you. And if you hate him, he hates you. And he's not afraid to say it or mock you. That, I think, is one of the most equality traits of all, honestly. But I can understand why people would say that. But the point is, nobody took you seriously when you said that. And then you just piss everybody off because you call everybody a racist, everybody a bigot, everybody a Nazi. And people are like, okay, those words don't mean anything because I'm not that. My friend who you called that is not that. My neighbors are not that. All the people like me are not that. Yes, some are, but we're not hanging out with those people. And now it doesn't mean anything. When you actually find one and you say it, nobody cares. It's like, oh, okay. And then so Trump comes around again, and what are they doing? Dude, I still see videos being like, if you vote for Trump again, you're a white supremacist. No excuse. And it's like, again, you already said we were a white supremacist. Now you're saying what? We're a super white supremacist? Like the word already doesn't mean anything. You already said we were. You think if we don't vote for him now, you're going to be like, okay, you're a good person now. No, you've already called us all the terrible words. It doesn't matter now. And so, these words just, how did I get onto this topic about the words and like how the people use these words for everybody?
They were calling Mitt Romney and everything.
Yeah, about Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
You skew his name, or what's the word? Not skew.
Slander.
Slander his name. All through the mud during confirmation because they were doing anything they could to freak out, to stop the court from flipping to the conservative side. And they were doing anything they could to save Roe v. Wade. But you used up everything you had saying these terrible words that now when it really matters, now it's really skewing the court. That's the better word for skew. What are you going to say now? You're going to come out again and now there's a woman and you're going to say, she's a woman hater. No. She raped her college student. No. Like those aren't going to work. She's a racist. You already said that about everybody. We don't care. What are you going to throw at them?
She's a Christian.
Exactly. That's what they're going to have to do is just say now you're going to have to slander Catholics. And what is that going to do? It's going to piss off religious people and piss off Catholics. And I even agree with you. Catholics are nuts. I can say that. I'm Catholic. And by I'm Catholic, I mean I'm atheist because Catholics are crazy. They are. Sorry, Mom. I didn't even say fuck there. Sorry, Mom. I was just apologizing because the religion she brought me up in is nonsense. Sorry, Mom. But it's true. Catholics are a little crazy with their indoctrination and their forceful beliefs. Yeah, but definitely. But Catholics are kind of take it to an extreme of judgment and, putting the fear of God in you. And I don't know. I mean, they all have their problems. Christianity definitely does, but definitely when it comes to abortion, they are very anti-abortion, anti-birth control, and control women. Catholicism for the longest time was like women are subservient. Women cannot be altar boys. I mean, boys is in the title. Also, the priests only like to bang the boys, so they probably didn't want girls there. Priests can't even get married. That's fuck. Like even Baptist ministers can get married and have sex. A priest forever has to be celibate. The nuns have to wear these fucking like outfits. It's like Muslims at that point where they're like all hidden away and they can't have sex. And what do you think that does to an old woman? Just bitter and hates everybody, hates kids.
That's why they would hit you with the rulers.
Exactly. Hates kids, hates themselves, sexually repressed, all of these terrible things. The priests can't they're giving you life advice and they've never even had a girlfriend. Get the fuck, you've never had sex? No wonder they turn into raping boys. That's the only thing they're around, and it's the only thing that's like not shamed in the religion. How Yeah, I mean, it's protected. The Pope protects it. They have a walled city.
Yeah.
That's separate from Italy.
All of those
with their own laws.
Though, they all protect each other.
Yeah. I mean, this is
goes up to the
institutions.
hierarchy,
It's like how police protect each other.
Yeah.
Republicans protect each other.
Yeah.
A football team protects each other. Every group of people. We're tribal people. You got to realize that. Everybody loves to complain and cry and scream about, we got to be civilized and all. It's like, yes, but also you got to recognize human nature at a certain point.
Yes,
we are
but also
tribal.
human nature is to like shun someone else too. It's like if there is someone who is a terrible member of society,
tribal.
But it's like shouldn't rapists or like pedophiles like be a part of that?
Yeah, it can be used for good.
But instead, the priests and everything are like, just don't do it again.
Yeah.
Like, go to a different church. Oh, we'll forgive your sins. Like, repent to me, and like, then you're fine. Just don't do it again.
It's creepy and it's bad. And I wish Catholicism would go away. I wish Christianity would go, and it started to.
And also, like, turn over your priests who are doing that to the police and get them the fuck out of there. Get out the bad weeds.
Because people are motivated by more than they're not worried about. This person is bad.
Children?
No, they're not. They're worried about their own job security and their own power. That's what people. That's the other thing.
And into it getting out, once it was all actually put into the newspapers and stuff that this was happening, and people were talking about the rapes and the pedophilia and stuff, then it became like a huge thing. Before they just want to like keep it quiet.
Yeah.
So that way
they
no
don't
one
want a spotlight on them.
Yeah.
And a lot
we're
of them
great.
are into
This is a
it.
good religion. Like we're fine. Nothing bad happens here.
Yeah. So it's scary seeing that she will I'm betting now it's going to be her. I forget her name, but it is a woman who is a Catholic with 7 kids. She is going to be the nominee. What are they going to throw at her to stop it? Who knows? It's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
And one law hits the docket that they can take up. Boom.
Yikes.
Overturn Roe v. Wade. And just like that, abortion is illegal.
Well, I have some metal hangers in my closet. If we ever need to,
it's tough.
Have a friend come over, I could just.
No, and that's the thing. That's what people don't realize. They say, "Why are you pro-choice?" Okay, first off, I'm pro-choice, but my number one issue, like I said, is like the freedom of speech thing. That's why I like Trump. That's why I voted. You came out and instantly you were like, "I got to vote for Biden," and I was like, "I understand. You gotta." I'm not one of those. How dare you? I get it. That's your issue.
Yeah.
You got to do what's best for your issue. So no judgment. Vote for whoever. I may not even vote. I don't know. I'm on the fence, but I'm not going to vote for Biden off because of this, because that's not my issue. Sorry, ladies, but I am pro-choice and I definitely don't want that. And what people don't realize is that you make it illegal, that doesn't end abortion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All it does is make it back alley abortions, dangerous at-home abortions. You're still going to kill the baby, and now you're going to kill the woman too.
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't realize that, you are not recognizing reality either.
For real.
You are doing more than damaging women. You're killing the baby still. Or you're forcing the baby to be brought up in a loveless, parentless, poor home.
Or in
put it
foster
up
care.
Put it up for adoption. Adoption sucks for a lot of kids. You're in foster care.
Too, because like everybody wants to outsource. They don't want American babies. Most people don't want American babies. They want them from different countries, and they take them in.
Exotic babies.
Like they're helping. They want to help. They know that there's other kids out there.
I want an American baby, but I think it's really
like,
hard to get one. That's what I thought. But there's also a lot of kids in foster care.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The point is, it's not a good thing for society. It's not a better thing for the kid. It's not a better thing for life.
Babies go quicker. Babies go quicker.
It's the foster kids.
Yeah, it's getting one that's a few years older, and it's like
I don't want no used kid.
It's so sad.
Unless it's one of the priests. Ooh. Yeah, you see what I did there? I can make Catholic jokes because I used to be one. I can talk about my trauma. Let me tell you about what happened when I was an altar boy.
Oh my gosh.
It was, I never got over it. the priest brought me in the back room. And he didn't even look at me. Didn't even look at me. I was a cute kid. And all these priests are raping all these boys. Didn't even look at me. Like, what am I? Ugly, bro? Come on, man. That hurt my feelings. I never got over it. Terrible. Yeah, it's scary. It's tough. Everything's up in the air. Mm-hmm. I don't know where it's going to go, but it is fascinating to watch. And all I can say is, you know, as much as people will say, this is Trump's fault. No, it's not. This is Democrats' fault. It's how you take it back. If they did not flip the rule, this could have never happened. Mm-hmm. If they didn't do a lot of things, Trump couldn't have been elected. It's like everything is connected, and you can define whose fault it is, but it isn't just Trump's fault. Trump is a symptom. He's not the disease. Trump is the backlash to what was going on in this country and the division in this country and all the problems with the media and the problems with political correctness and the problem with politics and the problem with Washington and the problem with Congress, all of that. Trump was a weapon against that. He came because he would have never succeeded in a place when it was working, but it's not working. Mm-hmm. And that's how you end up with somebody like Trump. And then you put it all on Trump and you say it's Trump's fault. No, it's really not. It's everybody's fault. It's your fault. It's my fault.
It's the American people's fault.
Yeah, we asked for this. We did this. And we got exactly what we deserved. And I'm sorry. I know it's a scary time, and I hope the best for women. And I hope that my hope was before Ruth Bader Ginsburg died was some case would come up the court, and maybe it would go possibly overturning Roe v. Wade, and maybe at the last second, you know, because I think it's John Roberts. He's a justice that kind of is in the middle. He's a Republican, but often will switch the other way. So he's a wild card. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of have Brett Kavanaugh, who everybody assumes is going to be voting against abortion and all these things because he's a conservative white man. But maybe at the last second, he would pull like a John McCain, because John McCain, well, we'll get into that story. And at the last second, not uphold it because Brett Kavanaugh, one, has already been slandered about raping women and hating women. There's no better way to get his dignity back in the eyes of women than voting against it. Mm-hmm. And as much as we say the Supreme Court is not political or personal, guess what? Everybody has biases. And when everybody hates you and you know you can make everybody love you just by changing the law this way, even if you know it's constitutionally wrong, you should vote this way, you could just vote this way just because you're in that kind of mood or you have personal reasons to do it. Mm-hmm. That's how people work. You got to admit that. And he has all daughters. Yeah. And he used to coach the daughter's softball team with a bunch of girls. He loves and respects girls. And now he's not able to do that because of how they ruined his name. Mm-hmm. Because how do you go coach a softball team now when somebody said you raped women? You know, you're fucked. Mm-hmm. I feel bad for the guy, you know. Hopefully he didn't do it, but
no, yeah.
I was thinking like maybe something crazy would happen and it would come up and he would just be like, nope. And he would do the John McCain thing where Trump was pushing through the overturn of certain Obamacare provisions. Mm-hmm. And the Senate had it, just like how Mitch McConnell owns the Senate and they have enough votes for a simple majority to do any of these things. John McCain, who's now dead, RIP John McCain, he was the last Republican senator and he walked up and they all thought we had it in the bag. If he votes thumbs up, we got it.
Yeah.
And at the last second, he goes, and just walks away. And everybody was like, what the fuck? And he single-handedly stopped it from happening. Yeah. And he died shortly after. And it was like his last act of like redemption to be like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And he did that. He was a maverick. They always called him a maverick, where he always kind of did his own thing. He never really followed the party line. Mm-hmm. And you know, something like that could have happened maybe in the court. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong and Brett Kavanaugh would be like, yes, abortion illegal. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But now that's not going to happen. You know, they put in a conservative judge.
Oh, yeah.
A Catholic conservative judge. Mm-hmm. Bye-bye. You guys are all save your coat hangers, ladies.
Oh, God.
That's the world we're in now.
That sucks.
It is what it is.
I guess we'll see what happens.
And that's politics.
Stay tuned.
Things never are stagnant, and it always is going to move forward, and there's always fighting, and things can go one way and they can go a different way, and things are that way for a long time until something changes. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's important that people think more than just this election. you have to think long term to achieve your goals. Progress is slow in America, but progress does happen. And sometimes progress is in a different way. But the thing that people don't also understand is places like China and Russia, where they can pretty much have a dictatorship, a communist country. They can think on timescales of 20, 30 years because they have one guy who can pretty much do whatever he wants, and he's going to be in power for a whole generation or two.
Yeah.
You can think long term. That's how China can overtake America, because China can be like, we're not going to take over America tomorrow, but we are in 30 years because we're putting all the pieces on the chessboard now for 30 years down the road. Whereas in America, all Americans think and all politicians think is got to get reelected in 2 years or 4 years, 2 years, 4 years. And it's a complete, we don't have a direction. We zigzag between things with a little movement and a little movement over here. And over time, we piece together progress. And sometimes it's for good and sometimes it's for bad. And that's why I'm like, years ago, when Obama was going to push through Obamacare, guess what, Democrats? You shouldn't have changed that rule to get Obamacare. You would have lost Obamacare.
They can change it back, though, right?
What?
Like the Senate can change it back.
If the Senate votes to. But here's the thing that, I mean, I think
leeway now, so they're probably like, we don't want to give that back.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know all the rules, but I'm pretty sure they can. But that's the thing about power. When you take power for yourself, nobody ever votes to give it back. The Senate could, or the Congress in general, could pass a law that ends gerrymandering, that puts term limits on Congress. That would make Congress work much better if we put term limits of like, you can only be in for 3 terms or 6 years or something like that. Why would anybody vote to say, I'm going to take away my own job in 6 years? Nobody's going to. Why would anybody vote to say, I'm going to take away my money to give myself a demotion? Why would anybody do that? One person might do it, but the whole Congress isn't going to do it.
Don't they get the money for like once they're done? Or is that just the president?
No,
they get paid forever? Or
no, I mean, they get hired in lobbyists or corporations to do their
The president still
work.
gets paid once he
I think
retires.
so, but it's I mean, it's $200,000-$400,000 a year, but it's not like as crazy.
I mean, that's pretty great.
It sounds great, but you got to understand, people in Congress only get paid like a couple $100,000 a year. Nancy Pelosi is worth $100 million. She didn't get that from making $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
She got that because of all the other ways she makes money from her power.
True, yeah.
That's what they don't give up, is the power. Power is worth way more than money. That's the old Frank Underwood. Money is the McMansion. Power is the stone building that lasts for centuries. Right? I think that was the quote. I messed up the voice, but classic show, good show. Miss it. Also ruined by cancel culture because they took down Kevin Spacey. And we had that shitty last season that was horrible, where it was just the woman. And they're just like, oh, the president died. Let's just move on. Fuck you. Terrible. But that's the thing. Nobody is ever going to vote to take away their own power.
Yeah.
Nobody. They're not going to put rules on themselves. It's just not going to happen. So when they gave themselves, when somebody's in the position where they're like, we have enough votes to do anything we want, let's use our power to take away our power to do whatever we want. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good luck. Never going to happen. Okay. Well, we're winding up on this clip. We've got a few more minutes. I mean, any other thoughts on that topic?
Not on this one.
Are you ready for your right to abort babies to go away?
No.
Why? Wait, first off, Erin, after our last episode, why are you so anxious to abort babies again? You know, you finally had one, and then, you know, RIP, baby Foster. And now, if we get pregnant again, you want to be able to abort it?
It's not for me.
I know.
It's for our child or other people.
Yeah.
Like,
see, Erin is a nice person, nice independent, who is down to vote for Trump, but the second her priorities are focused on a different issue, she's down to vote the other way. That's called an independent.
Yes, I am.
I, too, am an independent. I was down to vote for Obama, and I was down to vote for Trump for different reasons. I just don't have a uterus. So first, that is not my number one issue. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. And yeah, maybe next week we will know. Maybe next year we will know. We'll find out. Okay, guys. Well, that is the end of this podcast because we are wrapping up. Thank you for listening again. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Join my Discord at Nick Foster. And now we have a Patreon because I will set it up when I upload this. So the link is in the bio. It should be patreon.com/Nick Foster. Support me, support this channel, support us. And we have a lot more content coming for you soon on this and many other channels. So come hang out and hopefully you can still own your uterus.
Yeah, go out and vote.
Yeah,
even though it's
go
still,
vote.
Yeah, we'll just say that every
and by
time.
go out, we mean mail in your vote.
Yeah, that's true.
All
Go
right.
to your mailbox.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Another episode's in the books, and we will see you next week or in 2 weeks.
Okay, see you.
Bye.